Welcome to Discover Indie Film. I'm your host, Jeff Howard, and I'm really happy to say I've got Jeff Hilliard here. Hey, Jeff.
Hello.
And we're in person. A lot of these nowadays are in Zoom, but I appreciate Jeff coming over in person to talk.
Yes.
All right. We just had the podcast before this one. If you listen to it, was an interview where we talked for a little more than an hour all about Jeff and his music videos and his acting and his comedy and directing and producing. Yeah, seriously, Renaissance man. But this episode, Jeff is just going to answer those Discover Indie Film 4 questions, which are favorite films, an underrated film, an overrated film, and a lesser-known film that people should seek out. I probably didn't give him a chance to prepare, so I sometimes say limit 3.
What's the first question? My favorites?
First question is favorite films. Yeah, if you want to keep it to 3.
Okay, I have to tell you that I don't do favorites because I love stuff different things for different reasons. So I've been terrible at favorites, but I will give you some of the films I've loved the most, which would be considered favorite. The Big Lebowski comes to mind. It's a perfect film. I remember I read the script, and it's a perfect script. There's no word in there that doesn't need to be there. It's the Coen brothers, pretty much all their films. I'm a super fan. Another one would be The Shining. Is excellent. Jack Nicholson's performance. He pushes it so he's so over top but perfectly. And it's Stanley Kubrick's brilliant. The whole entire. I'm not even a horror film fan, but it's perfection. And all of his films as well are all like the Coen brothers and Stanley Kubrick. Another one that came to mind off the top of my head was Groundhog Day. Is another brilliant film. And
such a great film, yeah. And
I could go on for hours about all the great films. Most underrated, oh my God, that's difficult. I think Office Space, but I think it's gotten acclaim. But when it came out, it was not underrated. I'm sure I could come up with a better answer if I spent a lot more time on it. And then what's the next one?
And the next one is a film that's overrated.
Overrated. Pretty much everything Hollywood puts out today is with the marketing thing. Any superhero movie, I did like I've been amused by some of the Batman movies over the years. I like the Joker. The Joker was not a Marvel movie. That was a brilliant movie. Joaquin Phoenix's performance was incredible. Overrated. I wish I could give you something better. I'm going to say that because I was bashing on Will Smith. I'm going to say that Will Smith movie that he won an Oscar for. I thought his acting was atrocious.
Oh, the tennis one,
with his mouth King like that.
Richard.
Great story, brilliant story. I just thought it was too cartoon, too obvious. I knew the movie just within the first couple. I hate watching a movie where I know the whole movie within I know all the beats that are going to happen. I like to be surprised. Hope to be, but it's rare it'll happen, especially in today's commercial world.
And I'm sure that script was in a pile at the studio that said Oscar bait. This is the Oscar bait pile.
I've just been railing Will Smith. You don't punch a comedian. I'm sorry. You just don't go up to and physically assault a comedian. I guess that's my gripe, but I'm sure he's a lovely person.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know at all. I mean, look, I know he'll never talk to me.
God,
it's not like I matter in his world.
Yeah, fuck these
and
people.
He doesn't need my approval, but
Jada Pinkett can go fuck herself too. What a psycho.
I've never really liked any of it.
Terrible,
any of what he does. He's always been the the lowest common denominator, the sugar cereal that
he's like a politician. It's like he's failed upwards.
Yeah.
And then the wife situation. What a great dynamic that is. I mean, I'd love to go on her.
I love Chris Rock, and for Chris Rock to get pulled into that.
Oh, he's one of the greatest stand-ups ever. I mean, bigger and blacker. I mean, I've met him a few times. He probably doesn't know who the hell I am, but he's one of the greats. And to have some mediocre hack, over-celebrated, overhyped clown punch someone will go down in history as one of the greatest comedians ever, who's done more for people than the get jiggy with it guy.
I agree.
I'm just
just
railing on
we
this
could do
guy.
a second podcast called the Will Smith Sucks podcast, but he's not the only one who sucks. There's a lot of
And then he's been in good in things. I think Men in Black was a good movie. I can't go so negative. I'm sorry for the Will Smith fans out there if you exist.
They don't listen to this anyway because this is about indie film. The last one is just a film that most people haven't heard of, a lesser known to seek out.
You know what? I was in the Bernard's film I was in, Traveling Light. I can't watch a movie twice, and we went to a premiere of it at this film festival, and then went to another one with my girlfriend, and it was like better the second time. And there's such great performances, and there was Stephen Dorff, Danny Houston. The guy at Beyond Film Fest came out and introduced the film and said, this is the best film that was made this year, which, I mean, look, just to make a good film is amazing. I mean, maybe, was it the best film? I don't know, but it's a really good film. There's great performances. It's a fascinating take on the absurdity of what we all went through. I think that film's going to age very well. He's such a brilliant, underrated filmmaker. Pretty much all of Bernard Rose's films, the majority of them he's brilliant. Immortal Beloved was incredible. This is director. If you cast me one of your films, this is what happens. You're going to have me going on. Paul Schrader as well. He's made some. I was in the movie Dog Eat Dog, which is Nicolas Cage goes full Nicolas Cage. It's a very dark comedy. It wasn't set out to be a comedy, but they were having so much fun doing it that it's a very violent film. But so if you're not into that, steer clear. But it's also a great film. I just basically self-promoted 2 films I'm in. How you like that? I
do. You want to repeat the titles? Because the one because I saw Immortal Beloved, it's a Beethoven film. Yeah, right? It's an amazing film.
I know I wasn't in that. So the 2 films I'm telling you to go see is Bernard Rose's film Traveling Light. It was in the theaters right now. I don't think it's like streaming yet. It's another film festival. And the next other one was a Paul Schrader film called Dog Eat Dog, starring Nicolas Cage, Willem Dafoe.
And if people should never snooze on Paul Schrader because he's just been amazing for about 40, 50 years.
Another favorite film could be Taxi Driver.
Yeah, that he wrote.
Yeah, he wrote that. I don't know.
But the ones he directed, I always, whenever he stepped out front and directed something, not to shit on Scorsese, but I think when Schrader directs, it kicks ass.
He's got great taste and he's got a great eye, and he's definitely he's lived it. He's lived a real renegade wild life.
And he takes risks.
Yeah, he does. There's so many goddamn films. I'm thinking of all his films in the 70s. There was a film he did with Christopher Walken. I cannot remember the name of it, in the 70s, and it's Christopher Walken's performance is so brilliant. That's the worst. I'm just going to bring something up that no one will know what the answer is, but it's a Paul Schrader film.
you can definitely look that up. I mean, everyone's got the internet, so everyone knows.
Figure it out.
Oh yeah, and everyone ruins movies by opening their phone and looking up IMDb during the movie. I wish I didn't do it, but who do I know that person from?
Right.
And instead of hitting pause, I just look and I miss stuff.
I love when directors that are accomplished use actors that aren't super famous, because it kind of, to me, when I do my music videos and stuff, not that I have super famous people pitching themselves to be in my stuff. I've had the ability to have that, but it takes away from it. It's something that is so much cooler. If you're watching something and you don't know, you've never seen any of those people and they're talented, it elevates the whole project. But obviously we don't live in a world like that. We're trying to make art. We're trying to sell tickets. And so they need to try to go see what Brad Pitt's in, That was another great movie, the Quentin Tarantino movie, which I thought...
Oh, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah, I thought Leonardo DiCaprio his performance was so brilliant. I think he should have won an Oscar. I don't even know, was he nominated? I think he was.
I think he was, yeah.
But it was all about Brad Pitt's performance. But oh my God, he was so good in that. And I've never been I think he's a brilliant actor, but it grew on me over many years, But that was an impressive performance as I've seen over the last, 5 years.
Yeah, Leo had a hell of it because I loved his performance in that Meteorite movie.
Yeah, he was pretty good in that.
I'm blanking on that.
He played the Adam McKay. He plays a pretty good troubled, pathetic type of character. He can nail that, which he doesn't really
he didn't
cast
have to go over the top like he does in a lot of Scorsese things. He
was the Wolf of Wall Street. He was great in that.
For sure. All right, well, hey, if people, Jeff's got to get going, so if people want to check out Jeff Hilliard's stuff, it's jeffhilliard.tv.
Yep.
And at Jeff Hilliard on social media.
Yep.
And if you want to get familiar with Discover Indie Film that this podcast is about, and it actually gave birth to a TV series on Amazon Prime, just go to discoverindiefilm.com, and it's at DIF Wins. Oh yeah, we forgot to mention, go to all Jeff's music videos and add comments. Say, this kicks ass, this rules.
Would love that. Or you can tell me you hate it. I would love that too.
That's true. Negative comments are just as good, right?
Yeah, it's
engagement. Because all YouTube
cares
cares about it. The algorithm wants engagement. Oh, Angertainment. Let's not get started on the profitability of being awful and pissing people off.
If you don't like something, give me specifics of what you don't like about it. And remind yourself, I've made it for less money than all of your superheroes combined.
Yeah, the less than a 5-second VFX shot.
Right. Less than pretty much everything you've ever seen.
And if you want to
videos.
see amazing VFX, I certainly recommend Jeff's video, Consensual, which pulled in 3 awards at Film Invasion LA last June. So anyway, Film Invasion LA, every June at filminvasionla.com, and it's at Film Invasion LA on social media. And the sister festival every November is Sherman Oaks Film Festival, ShermanOaksFF.com, at ShermanOaksFF. And you're listening to 2 Jeffs who both live in Sherman Oaks in the year 2022, so that's pretty special.
Yeah, it's lovely.
What are you going to do? All right, thanks so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And thank you, everyone, for listening.